Yo, Vikings Nation. Skol. Baby, buckle up, because we're diving into the hottest rumor shaking up Minnesota sports right now. Our boy Adam Thielen might be coming back to the purple and gold. The Minnesota Vikings are reportedly in talks with the Carolina Panthers to bring back the hometown hero, and trust me, this has got every fan in Vikings territory buzzing. Are we about to see Thielen catching passes from J.J. McCarthy at US Bank Stadium again? Let's break it down. This isn't just some wild fan fantasy. ESPN's Adam Schefter dropped the bomb that the Vikings have reached out to the Panthers about a trade. Thielen, the Detroit Lakes legend who spent 9 epic seasons with us, could be the answer to our decimated wide receiver room. With Jordan Addison suspended for the first 3 games and injuries piling up, the Vikings need a reliable weapon, and Thielen's name is lighting up the trade market like a purple flare. What's the hold-up? And is this deal actually going to happen? Stick with me for 15 scenes of pure Vikings passion as we unpack this trade saga, from the juicy details to the big questions. Will Thielen return to lead us to the promised land? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's get the Skol chant going. Here's everything you need to know about the Adam Thielen trade rumors. Picture this. It's August 2025, and the Vikings are staring down a season with sky-high expectations. J.J. McCarthy, our shiny new franchise quarterback, is ready to light up the NFC North. But there's a problem. Our wide receiver room is thinner than a Minnesota winter ice sheet. Jordan Addison's suspension and injuries to guys like Rondale Moore and Jalen Nailor have left us desperate for a playmaker. Enter Adam Thielen, the former Viking who's been balling out in Carolina. Could he be the missing piece? Thielen's no stranger to purple. From 2013 to 2022, he racked up 6,682 receiving yards, 5th most in franchise history, and earned 2 Pro Bowl nods. The dude's a Minnesota State alum and a fan favorite who knows Kevin O'Connell's system like the back of his hand. The Vikings reaching out to the Panthers feels like fate, but the trade talks are hitting some serious turbulence. What's stopping this reunion from becoming reality? Here's the kicker. Thielen himself is reportedly excited about coming back to Minnesota. Can you imagine the roar at US Bank Stadium if he steps onto that field in purple again? But hold your horns, this deal isn't done yet. Let's dive deeper into what's holding things up and why this trade could be a game changer. What do you think? Would Thielen be worth the price? Let me know below. The Vikings' wide receiver crisis is no joke. Jordan Addison's out for 3 games, Rondale Moore's done for the season with a knee injury, and Jalen Nailor's nursing a hand issue. That leaves Justin Jefferson as our lone superstar, with rookie Ty Felton stepping up but still unproven. Minnesota's offense needs a veteran presence to steady the ship, and Thielen's 2023 stat line, 103 catches, 1,014 yards, and 4 touchdowns, proves he's still got it. Carolina, on the other hand, is swimming in wide receiver talent. They've got first-round picks Xavier Legette and Teteroa McMillan, plus Jalen Coker and Hunter Renfrow waiting in the wings. Thielen's their WR1 for now, but with McMillan expected to take over soon, the Panthers might be willing to deal. The question is, what's it gonna cost? A day 3 draft pick? More? The Vikings just snagged extra picks from trading Harrison Phillips and Sam Howell, so they've got ammo. But here's where it gets spicy. ESPN's Bill Barnwell floated a trade idea. Thielen to the Vikings for a 2026 6th and 7th round pick, with Carolina eating $1.5 million of his $6.25 million salary and Thielen taking a $1 million pay cut. Sounds like a steal, right? Not so fast. Panthers fans are laughing at that offer. Is this deal too good to be true for Minnesota? Hit the comments with your take. Let's talk money, because that's where this trade is hitting a wall. Thielen's base salary for 2025 is $6.25 million, and Carolina just gave him a $1.5 million roster bonus, signaling they're not planning to cut him. The Vikings, with over $30 million in cap space, can handle his contract, but they don't want to overpay in draft picks for a 35-year-old who might be a 1-year rental. The Panthers are playing hardball. They reportedly want a 3rd-round pick, while the Vikings are offering a 4th at best. Ben Goesling from the Minnesota Star-Tribune says it's all about draft pick compensation and how much of Thielen's salary each team will cover. Carolina's got leverage. They don't need to trade their top receiver, especially when he's Bryce Young's go-to guy. This standoff is giving me chills, Vikings fans. Imagine Thielen back in Minnesota, running routes for McCarthy and mentoring our young guns. But if the Panthers won't budge, could the Vikings look elsewhere? Maybe a guy like Jawan Jennings from San Francisco? What's your dream trade target? Drop it in the comments. Why does this trade feel so personal? Thielen's a Minnesota kid through and through, born in Detroit Lakes, starred at Minnesota State, and became a Vikings legend. He's got 685 receptions, 8,311 yards, and 64 touchdowns in his NFL career, and he's still producing at 34. Bringing him back would be like Carlos Correa returning to the Twins. It's a homecoming that'd make every fan's heart skip a beat. Thielen's already got chemistry with J.J. McCarthy. He spoke glowingly about our rookie QB back in June, calling him a potential face of the league with all the tools to succeed. That's not just talk. Thielen's worked out with McCarthy in the offseason, and he knows O'Connell's playbook inside out. A reunion could be seamless, but is it worth the cost? Here's the big question. If the Vikings pull this off, how big of an impact could Thielen make? Last season, he had 48 catches for 615 yards and 5 touchdowns in just 10 games. With Jefferson drawing double teams, Thielen could feast in the slot. Are you feeling the hype yet? Tell me, how many touchdowns do you think Thielen could score in purple this year? Let's get real for a second. Why are the Panthers even considering this? They've got a stacked receiver room? Sure, but Thielen's been Bryce Young's most reliable target for 2 seasons. In 2023, he led Carolina with 1,014 yards, and even in an injury-shortened 2024, he was their top dog. Trading him could stunt Young's growth, especially in a critical third year. Former NFL QB Dan Orlovsky isn't thrilled about the idea. He tweeted, "Would hate for Bryce to lose Adam," and it's easy to see why. Thielen's veteran presence and chemistry with Young are huge for a Panthers team trying to build on a strong 2024 finish. If they trade him, they're banking on young guys like McMillan, Leggett, and Coker to step up big time. But here's the flip side. A trade could net Carolina draft picks to keep building their roster. A day 3 pick might not sound like much, but it's better than losing Thielen to free agency in March 2026 for nothing. What's the Panthers' endgame here? Vikings fans, do you think they'll cave? Or are we dreaming too big? Hit the comments. The Vikings have been busy in the trade market, and it's got fans whispering. On Sunday, they shipped out Sam Howell to the Eagles for a 2026 fifth-rounder and a 2027 seventh-rounder, then added Carson Wentz as a backup. They also traded Harrison Phillips to the Jets, picking up extra draft capital. Could these moves be setting the stage for a Thielen blockbuster? Ben Goesling thinks so. He says that 5th-round pick from the Howell trade could be the key to getting Thielen over the line. The Vikings are clearly stocking up on picks, and with 11 projected for 2026, including 3 fifth-rounders, they've got room to negotiate. But will a 5th-rounder satisfy Carolina, or are they holding out for more? This is where the suspense is killing me. The Vikings are all in on making a playoff push in 2025, and Thielen could be the veteran spark they need. But if the Panthers dig in their heels, we might be left empty-handed. What's your gut telling you, Vikings Nation? Is Thielen worth a 5th-round pick, or should we hold onto our assets? Let's hear it. Let's talk about what Thielen brings to the table. At 34, he's still a route-running wizard with hands of glue. Pro Football Focus gave him a 76.5 receiving grade in 2024, with 2.06 yards per route run. Solid numbers for a guy who missed 6 games. He's not just a nostalgia pick. He's a legit WR2 or WR3 who can move the chains. For the Vikings, Thielen would be more than a player, he'd be a mentor. With McCarthy stepping into the QB1 role, having a veteran who knows the system and can teach the young guys like Felton is huge. Plus, Thielen's clutch in big moments just like he was at Minnesota State and during his Pro Bowl years. But here's the catch. Thielen turns 35 next month, and he's hinted that 2025 or 2026 could be his last ride. Is he worth trading for if it's just a 1-year deal? Or could he stick around for a Super Bowl chase in 2026? Vikings fans, I need your take. Would you roll the dice on Thielen for a playoff push? Drop it below. Carolina's in a weird spot. Their receiver room is loaded, but trading Thielen means leaning on unproven talent. Teteroa McMillan, their 2025 first-round pick, is a stud, but rookies often need time to adjust. Xavier Legette and Jalen Coker are talented, but neither has Thielen's experience or reliability. Hunter Renfrow could fill the slot role, but he's coming off a down year. Panthers insider Joe Person nailed it on X. Trading Thielen leaves Carolina with a rookie and 2 second-year guys as their top receivers. That's a lot to ask, especially when Bryce Young's still finding his groove. The Panthers are trying to build on Young's late 2024 surge, and Thielen's been a big part of that. So why even entertain a trade? It's about leverage and future planning. If Carolina thinks Thielen might walk in free agency, getting a draft pick now makes sense. But they're not budging for a lowball offer. Vikings fans, do you think the Panthers are bluffing? Or are they dead serious about keeping Thielen? Let's talk about it. The Vikings side of this saga is all about need. With Addison out and injuries mounting, Kevin O'Connell's offense could use a security blanket like Thielen. He's not just a feel-good story. He's a proven playmaker who can exploit single coverage when Jefferson's doubled. Imagine him snagging clutch third-down catches for McCarthy. Minnesota's recent trades show they're serious about contending. Trading Howell and Phillips gave them extra picks, and signing Carson Wentz as a backup signals they're all in on McCarthy. Thielen could be the final piece to make this offense elite, but only if the price is right. Here's the million-dollar question. What's the max you'd give up for Thielen? A 5th rounder? A 4th? Or do you think the Vikings should walk away if Carolina keeps playing hardball? I'm dying to know what Vikings Nation thinks. Hit the comments and let's debate. Let's zoom out for a sec. The Vikings are projected to be NFC contenders in 2025, and McCarthy's development is priority number 1. Thielen's not just a short-term fix. He could help our rookie QB grow into a star. His off-season workouts with McCarthy show they've already got a connection. But there's risk. Thielen's age and contract mean this could be a 1-year rental, and the Vikings don't want to mortgage their future for a nostalgia trip. If the Panthers want a 3rd rounder, that's a steep price for a 35-year-old, no matter how beloved he is. Are the Vikings desperate enough to overpay? This trade saga feels like a chess game, and we're all waiting for the next move. Could Thielen's return spark a deep playoff run? Or is this just wishful thinking? What's your prediction, Vikings fans? Drop it in the comments. I'm all ears. Carolina's front office isn't messing around. GM Dan Morgan's got the upper hand, and he's not handing Thielen back to Minnesota for peanuts. The Panthers see Thielen as a key piece for Bryce Young, who leaned on him heavily in 2023 and 2024. Trading him for a 6th and 7th rounder, as Barnwell suggested, got laughed off by Panthers fans. But here's the twist. Thielen's contract isn't guaranteed yet, and if he's on the roster by week 1, that $6.25 million locks in. That gives Carolina a deadline to make a decision, and the Vikings are pushing hard before roster cuts on Tuesday. Will the Panthers blink, or are they ready to keep Thielen for another season? Vikings Nation, imagine the headlines. Thielen returns to Minnesota. It'd be the story of the offseason. But if this deal falls apart, who else should the Vikings target? Let me know in the comments. What's your backup plan if Thielen stays in Carolina? The clock's ticking, and trade talks are reportedly stalling. Josina Anderson says the deal is not likely right now, with the Panthers holding firm on a 3rd-round pick and the Vikings stuck at a 4th. This standstill has fans on edge, myself included. Are we so close to a reunion, only to see it slip away? Ben Goesling's keeping hope alive, though. He says talks are still ongoing, and Thielen's excited about the possibility of coming home. The Vikings' recent trade for a 5th-round pick could be the sweetener Carolina needs, but only if both sides compromise. What's the vibe in Vikings territory? Are you still hyped for Thielen? Or is this starting to feel like a pipe dream? Drop your thoughts below, and let's keep the Skol energy flowing. We're not giving up yet. Let's talk about Thielen's fit in Minnesota's offense. Kevin O'Connell's system loves versatile receivers who can win in the slot, and that's Thielen's bread and butter. His 2024 PFF stats, 73rd in separation rate, 65th against single coverage, show he's still a matchup problem. Pair him with Jefferson and defenses are in trouble. For McCarthy, Thielen would be a safety valve. Rookies often lean on reliable veterans, and Thielen's route-running smarts could make JJ's life easier. Plus, with Addison back after Week 3, a trio of Jefferson, Thielen, and Addison could be straight-up lethal. But here's the big, what if? What if Thielen's age catches up to him? He missed 6 games last year, and at 35, injuries are a real concern. Is the risk worth the reward, Vikings fans? Tell me, would you trade for Thielen even if it's just for one season? The Panthers' perspective is all about Bryce Young. Thielen's been his security blanket, racking up 151 catches over 2 seasons. Trading him could shake Young's confidence, especially after a promising end to 2024. Dan Orlovsky's not wrong. Losing Thielen could be a step back for Carolina's QB. But the Panthers have options. McMillan, Leggett, and Coker are young and hungry, and a trade could open up reps for them. Plus, if Thielen's gone in free agency next year, a draft pick now is better than nothing. It's a business decision, but it's a tough one. Vikings fans, put yourself in Carolina's shoes. Would you trade your WR1 for a day 3 pick? Or would you hold out for more? I'm curious. Hit the comments and let's break it down. We're at the edge of our seats, Vikings Nation. The trade deadline for roster cuts is Tuesday, August 26, 2025, and the clock's ticking. Will the Vikings and Panthers find common ground? Or is this Thielen reunion just a tease? Adam Schefter says Thielen wants to come home, but the teams can't agree on compensation. Here's my bold prediction. The Vikings offer a 5th-rounder, Carolina counters with a 4th, and they meet in the middle with some salary relief. If this deal goes through, it's going to be electric. If not, Minnesota's still got options like Jawan Jennings or even a dark horse trade. This is why we love Vikings football: drama, passion, and the chance for a legendary comeback. What's your final take, Skull fans? Is Thielen coming home, or are we moving on? Drop your predictions in the comments, smash that like button, subscribe for more Vikings news, and share this with every purple-blooded fan you know. Skull Vikings!